Hi, I'm Hillary Bliss with Decision First Technologies, and I'm sitting here with some of the authors from implementing SAP HANA by SAP Press. We're here at Reporting Analytics 2014 in Atlanta, Georgia. We're going to talk a bit about what some of these guys are seeing out in the field. Jonathan, what is the top question that customers ask you when they're thinking about HANA implementation?
Yeah, I think when we're talking about reporting and analytics specifically, one of the top questions is, what business objects tools work with HANA? And the response is easy because every one of them work with HANA, but the biggest difference comes in the different ways they connect to HANA. So you've got some options where the reporting tool will completely push its operations down to HANA, and those are situations where we can scale analysis of data into the hundreds of millions of rows. Then you have some tools that are going to kind of query HANA in a traditional SQL way and bring some of the data into the reporting engine. But across the board, every tool can interact with HANA. So, I mean, that's great news because no matter what your requirements are, there's a tool in that BI suite tool bag that probably accommodate what you're looking for.
Mm-hmm. So was that surprising to customers? I mean, you hear a lot about Lumira and a lot about a few products. But...
Yeah, I mean, if you think back when Business Warehouse and Business Objects were trying to get integrated and Bex was the connectivity point, there was only some tools that actually interacted with it.
Okay, right.
And so now that we have HANA and HANA's ODBC, JDBC type connectivity, the book opened up quite a bit for supporting all of the analytic reporting.
And when you look at all the tools that are available, there are so many different areas of business objects. You've got your typical reporting tools like we have with Crystal Reports, which is now Crystal Reports 2013, and Crystal Reports for Enterprise, that each have their own benefits. And then you have ad hoc reporting and web intelligence. So those reporting tools connect natively to HANA now. So that's a big benefit. Of course, you have to look at reports and how many records of data you need to effectively pull into a report to make it still usable. But then you have your analytic tools like your dashboards. So whenever you move into dashboards or Design Studio, that's meant to be more compact. So just understanding KPIs and really aggregating your data down to something a bit more actionable. And then whenever you move into something like the Lumira tool, this data discovery, data visualization, that certainly connects back to HANA, but it has its own usage as well. So you have to understand how data pulls in and all connects back into HANA.
Hey Don, what about from a back-end perspective? What are the customers' biggest questions about HANA on the back end?
Well, I think people are wanting to know about, we're having a lot of success with lift and shift in terms of taking an existing data warehouse that may live in, SQL Server, Oracle, or some legacy database platform. And there's been a lot of interest talking about taking that and actually moving that, realizing it over into HANA, and some ways we can speed that process up to actually get utilization and end user adoption really fast, while kind of peeling back the layers of the ETL and moving things over, in piecemeal, if you will. If the project's still going to take, if it takes 4 months to do the work, it's going to take 4 months to do the work. But actually having users able to interact with these tools, like what these guys are talking about, it's nice to actually be able to get in there on the front end of it, after 2 or 3 weeks, and have real actionable results from users. That's a pretty neat kind of a concept, and HANA is really the only kind of platform utilized with data services that allows that kind of a marriage, if you will.
What do you think customers are most excited about in looking for HANA? Is it response time, data volume, lack of ETL requirements, or what do you think is the biggest driver towards HANA?
I would say yes, all of that.
Yeah.
I think that from my perspective, from a reporting perspective, an analytic perspective, it's the volumes of data that you can aggregate through and how fast it comes back. Because if you can aggregate through tens or hundreds of millions of records of data in just a few minutes, a few seconds, without having to create aggregate tables, that's huge, because there's a lot of stuff you can do on the front end, but then you don't have to deal with a lot of data rework on the back end to facilitate that aggregation, that summarization.
Yes, so there's definitely a speed component too, and I hear a lot of folks talking about real time, and they mix up talking about real time and speed. We've had this conversation a whole bunch of times. There's definitely a use case on real-time data realized from SAP and other sources into HANA, and that's not necessarily a speed play, but for some customers it makes a lot of difference and a lot of sense.
What do you think the biggest education point is for customers that are looking to go to HANA? The biggest thing that's maybe different than other databases that they need to kind of adjust their thinking on?
Well, data modeling for one.
Yeah.
The star schema, our normalized data model, the ones that will require a lot of joining to denormalize, may not be the best performing in HANA. So that's one adjustment in thinking, just from the back end perspective. The other part, of course, is the virtual data models or analytic views or information views that are built into HANA. That's unique because no database on the market has the OLAP, so to speak, cube built into the database directly. So there's no marshaling of information between the database and OLAP platform. It's just all one integrated platform. And so that's what makes all of these things we talk about, the real time, the super fast query response times, all that's possible because we're dealing with a next generation platform or an analytics platform or data platform, whatever you want to call it.
And what's amazing about the front end is the fact that you don't really have to have a lot of special knowledge to connect to what they're building on the back end with HANA. Because with Web Intelligence, you connect to these analytic views or calculation views. Same thing with Crystal, same thing with Lumira. So the processes that you normally go through to build these reports or to create these analytics or visualizations are still very similar to relational data sources or other sorts of data sources outside of HANA. So from a front-end perspective, there's not a whole lot more that people need to know other than, like in Webby, join.sql. That's a really nice feature that you can push performance back down to the database level, which is stronger than the typical Webby server.
Well, we got some really interesting insights from some of the experts in the fields here at Reporting and Analytics 2014. Learned great information about HANA. So thank you so much, guys, and we'll talk to you again soon.
Thanks.